Sorry if the microphone quality is gob in this video, but I have yet to receive my headset. My mother is being delayed, according to her, on shipping the rest of my stuff from Texas to here. And I figured, I really want to get back into making stuff for this channel, and I want to work harder on it than I do my main channel. So, again, sorry for the shit quality, but I'm getting antsy and I don't really want to wait anymore, so I hope you do not mind it. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So on my first video on this channel, we looked at a video that was basically addressing, well, a little kid had noticed that in her school there was a fellow classmate who had parents of a same-sex relationship, a mom and a mom, and she went home and talked to her mom, and basically the general idea expressed by her mom and expressed by the video is that same-sex relationships in any variety, whether it's marriage or just a general thing, are bad. Why? Because Jehovah doesn't like them. And this video originates from the Jehovah's Witness organization website. And there's actually a whole section dedicated to these types of animations. They're directly targeted at children, and it's in publications, videos, children. I mean, you can look at all the videos they have, but that's how to get to it. You just load up the site, publications, videos, children's section, which is where I think all of these videos and more are housed. There's an extra video that has some old man that has a message to a family or something, but most of these are, they're not bad ideas. I haven't watched all of them, obviously. They are short, so it might take up a good 30 minutes to an hour. It's all like 1 to 2 minute clips. Maybe, I'd say 30, 20 minutes. I wouldn't say an hour, because they're pretty short. I think the most lengthy one is about close to 5 minutes, and the shortest one is close to a minute. But most of them, from the title, I can infer at least. I have not watched them, like I said. Most of them seem to be just simple lessons to give to a child. And it can range from anything about being patient, being appreciative for things you have, being generous, being truthful, don't lie. There's a weird video talking about protecting your family. So most of these are just general life lessons, just general simple lessons you give to kids. Nothing wrong there, although I would assume most of it is with Jehovah tacked on. I think that's the only difference between these and just a general parenting lesson to their child. Nothing too crazy. There are a few other ones that are kind of ooh, that are basically Jehovah and related to the religion. And obviously the newest one on this page, the one that I guess has recently came out, I don't know if there are any others that have yet to come out. I think the one we reviewed, or the one I reviewed, the One Man, One Woman is the newest one they have produced, and I'm not sure if the other ones have gotten backlash. I think that one was so goddamn offensive. I don't know. There might be a channel out there that I have yet to know of that has dedicated their time to reviewing all these videos. I have no idea. I just know that when that video first, I don't know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure it first was brought to attention on the website Pink, I think it was called. That's where I got it from. It was like the first day that the article was published, I noticed it. I was like, holy shit, what is this? And then it started making its rounds all across the net, all across YouTube, of just being horrendously offensive and giving the wrong message. Basically saying, I'm just going to stop here for a minute, say there's nothing wrong with being religious, there's nothing wrong with being a Jehovah's Witness, just keep it to yourself. I know people are going to be like, I have a First Amendment right, blah, 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 blah. Well, freedom of speech is a tricky thing. And to quote the armored skeptic here, you should keep that shit to yourself. And that sounds fucked up, but some people don't want to hear it. Freedom of speech is a very tricky thing. You do have a right to say what you want, but you don't have a right to an audience. And to say, I don't know, I feel like teaching is a very weird thing to me, because it is tricky and it has to be neutral, because you're trying to, especially in the public sector, which I'm used to. I've never been to a private school as a student. Just as a side thing, I might be going there as some kind of chaperone, because my nephew might be going to a might be going to a private school because our local public school is kind of shit. So, you know, that's a whole other thing. That has nothing to do with this, but I've never been with that. And as far as I know, in the public sector, you have to be very bipartisan and very neutral on things, which is good. I agree with that. I agree. You don't want to push, because you're influencing kids at these age. You're trying. I mean, they're going to grow up thinking right and wrong. This is, obviously, I don't really need to express this. It's fucking common knowledge. When a kid's growing up, they're the most susceptible from the time of the age of kind of comprehending thing, which would be like maybe 3 to 6, to the age of reason, which is like 10 to, 13 is when they start gaining the reason skills. And it's those two eras that are most important in education. I think that's why you have to be very non-biased, very open, and if there is an issue that has multiple viewpoints and can't be approached through neutral means, then obviously show every viewpoint. And it's kind of the reason I kind of jump or pay close attention to stuff like this, because obviously these are marketed at young children with some kind of Jehovah's Witness religious affiliation. Although my personal opinion, it doesn't matter what it is. I think it just should be, if you're teaching somebody something, whether you're Jehovah's Witness or not, or whatever, be neutral, be kind of, well, here are all the viewpoints on this. And obviously that wouldn't fly in this, especially because they're trying to hammer in, hey, Jehovah, woo, 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 because that's the thing they believe is to be right. Everything related to the Jehovah's Witness religion, those people seem to be the right path. And to me, just as another small tangent, I don't think there is a right path per se. I don't believe in the right or wrong or history. I don't think there's actually an absolute right or wrong. I think there's a point of view. There's only a point of view. There's so many people on this fucking planet. We're reaching 8 billion. I think we've probably by now passed the 8 billion threshold. So there's so many fucking viewpoints, and I do not believe in moral absolutes. Fucking morality is subjective as shit. Don't believe me? Just look at a country geographically distant to your own and far culturally different than your own. If there's an objective right or wrong, an objective morality, not objective moral. Oh, what is it? Is it non-objective or objective morality? The one where I think it's universal morality. The one where there is a set common right or wrong. I don't think that exists. The terminologies are all weird. I think it's objective morality, or more of subjective morality. I guess that's better to call it, because it does depend on where you were raised. If there was a true, absolute morality, if you will, then we'd all be fucking privy to it. There wouldn't be such this diversity. There would be such it's not that diversity is a bad thing, that's a whole other can of worms. I just think, hey, it's not, there's no, this is right, this is wrong. You can set that, and the only reason I think we should set that to an extent is so society can function. I think it is a big social thing. The reason, as somebody who's not religious, I don't have the scapegoat of saying, well, God, I have to express my views, which I do think the reason we have laws and such is so we can function and grow as a people. It's not because there's an objective and absolute morality, it's because we can fucking function and get things done. If we didn't have this, we didn't have laws, we didn't have some sort of functionality in place, we wouldn't have touched down on the fucking moon, we wouldn't have modern medical science, we wouldn't have had a vaccine for polio. Somebody would have just probably gone into that guy's house and fucking murdered him. We wouldn't have many a thing if there was no organization. And it doesn't really, I don't think it comes from a religious connotation. I don't think it comes from an overall entity. I think it's just there because we needed it to be there in order to function and progress. I think that's why it exists. And to sum up that big ass tangent, that's why I think teaching in any connotation needs to be needs to not be subjective, but it needs to be neutral, it needs to be unbiased. It needs to be this multiple thing, because there are multiple views on things. There are multiple opinions, views. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, etc., etc. I think that's why any teaching at all needs to have this, either A, neutral, or B, showing every side to a story, because there's not a universal thing. If there was, then fuck it, no, we don't need all those other opinions, let's just stick to the universal. But since the universal thing, at least in my opinion, doesn't exist, when teaching, no matter what, whether you're Jehovah's Witness, atheist, whatever, public school, private, gotta have more than one view, and I think that's how you can reach, or how you can have an educated individual, or at least somebody who can function in society, because they don't, they can function with other members of society who don't operate within their moral code. They don't, because if you raise somebody in such a single mindset, or a narrow mindset, if you will, like being Jehovah's Witness, Christian, whatever, if you raise somebody with just one ideology, one political view, one thing, and saying, this is right, they're gonna grow up thinking, okay, well, this is right, and anybody who doesn't think that way, fuck them. They're not on the right path. I think that's why teaching, definitely at this age and up, needs to have this bipartisan view, needs to have this neutral view, because, they should be able to craft their own morality, craft their own view, but they also need to understand that their view isn't the only one out there, and when they come across somebody that does not share the same viewpoint, they shouldn't, the world shouldn't end, it shouldn't be hell on toast. They should be very tolerant. I mean, you don't really have to tolerate, well, you do have to tolerate people, but you should do something that my father taught me, which is cohabitation. Just fucking get along. You don't have to like them, don't have to respect them, but you don't have to make the, whatever, you don't have to make the times that you have with that person or entity or what have you hell on toast. Just do what you can to just get along. You don't have to make it great, but you don't have to make it horrible. You can make it livable, considerable. And this is coming from somebody who's lived in many a different household without things under my control. I've learned a lot from my father. And that being of cohabitation. And sometimes you don't... I really think this is useful because sometimes you don't get a choice in life. A lot of people do not get choices in life. And I think if they are taught the ability of tolerance and taught that, hey, your opinion and your views are fine, but there's also other people's opinions. So people are taught how to be tolerant, how to cohabitate, how to get along, whether they disagree or agree. I feel like shit would be a lot better than it is now. Or not necessarily comparing it to any time at all, but I think it would just be good in general. It's kind of why I'm on the wire about the whole thing, about this site in particular, but just anything like this in general that is tacking it on with something. And a lot of these lessons, a lot of the things expressed in these videos, they're not bad ideas. They're just, being generous, being truthful, being appreciative, being just a good person. It's fine that they tack on Jehovah. Fucking phenomenal. But some of the particular things start to narrow the child's view a bit. Like the video we talked about, the one man, one woman fiasco. That's not really a tolerant thing. You're giving the kid an excuse to be a bigot. You're giving the kid an excuse. You're prepping them up with the argument, oh, well, since Jehovah says, fuck you, you're not giving them the ability to think, hey, I don't agree with being homosexual and that whole blah, but hey, maybe I can just get along with them. Maybe that can be a thing. I don't know. I think that's the reason I kind of go off stuff like this, so this video is just an addendum to my previous, because I think that thing was just a clusterfuck, and somebody pointed out in the comments, which I agree, but I figured just to further my thoughts, there we go. And to also point out this site, and I don't know if we'll do more videos from this site. I kind of don't want to get on the radar. I'm too small of an entity on YouTube to piss anybody off, so I have to tread lightly. I can't be like the Amazing Atheist or what have you and just go, ah, my opinions. I have to tread lightly, and I don't mean any ill will toward these people. They can fucking do whatever they want. Have fun at it. I just think there are some harmful media they can produce. The Jehovah's Witness website and Jehovah's Witnesses in general, their religion's pretty out there, and it's a touch and go with religion, as you guys probably saw in the comments of the other video. Somebody was not too happy. I was trying to be neutral. I was trying to just open a dialogue and just have a conversation. They went fucking ballistic, because how dare I question their views? How dare I question this? How dare I even fucking think? And it's like I was saying earlier, fucking stuff like this, crafting a narrow mind, will produce people like the person in the comment section. It'll produce people like that who just lose their fucking shit, because how dare anybody else not be on their particular path? And they'll come up with everything in the book that they feel puts them at a higher plane. Like the guy was doing in the comment section, he was saying all these good things that the Jehovah's Witness Church does and da-da-da-da-da. And that was this case for why, you know, Jehovah's Witness is so awesome. And it's like, you could do all the awesome things, but it doesn't excuse your terrible acts. Fucking Jehovah's Witnesses could cure cancer. That doesn't give them the right to be a shit to other people who don't agree with them. That's not fucking fair. That's not... No. No. No, 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 no. You can do all the nice things. That's fine. It doesn't... You know, it's not a fucking video game. It's not Monopoly. You don't get a jail-free card. You know, you don't get to exchange your good deeds for terrible ones. That's just not how this fucking works. And I'm so glad it doesn't work that way, because that'd be fucking horrible. So that was that video. I didn't really feel like the end of that was any kind of ending, and I didn't want to get people. I didn't want people to get confused and think the video just kind of fucked up and just ended randomly in the middle of a thought. No, that was it. That's my video. I think this was a little addendum / continuation. And so next time, hopefully, I'm in a video making move for this channel, sans the better microphone, so I feel like I found a way to work around that audio issue. Hopefully you don't hear the fuzz, or if you do, it's not as apparent. I mean, in post, and the way I'm editing this, it fucking is, but whatever, I'll deal with it eventually. So hopefully next time we'll do the addendum video for the other video, where we take a look, or we try to present a more narrative sound, narrative sound story to G-Man's video, because I don't know if he has any other videos like that, but that's the first time I've ever came at one of his videos with both a more secular objection and a literary objection. I guess, would my objection be secular? I guess, yeah. I'm objecting to a religious thing via a secular perspective, but I'm also objecting to a shitty narrative from a literary perspective. There we go. Brain farted out. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I shall see you all next time. Have a wonderful day.